Nicole, tell me, where are you visiting from?
I'm visiting from the University of Toronto from Canada.
Oh, well, thank you very much for driving all the way down here.
That's really funny. Definitely took a direct flight and really happy to be here.
Yes. Is this your first, second, third, 12th? How many ISHIs have you been to?
I think I'm around 6 or 7.
Okay.
So I've been coming since 2014. 2014 was my first one, and I've missed a couple.
Okay.
But I even attended last year virtually. So
okay.
try to be here as much as I can.
Why do you keep coming back? What do you find that's so appealing?
ISHI by far is the best DNA conference that forensic genetics has, simply because the program always offers diversity in terms of cutting edge science, casework, and like real case examples, as well as keeping us up to date with what's happening at the policy and judicial level. So very, very informative across the board, and getting to see all of my colleagues, interact with exhibitors. It's
in
the best.
real life this year.
I know. I even got an inflatable DNA thing in here. So
I definitely need an inflatable DNA. I've never seen one. That was so taken aback by that. I definitely got to have one. So this year, so far, you've been to a few talks probably. What is one thing that you've learned that you didn't even know or didn't think about before?
It is the 20th anniversary for 9/11.
Yeah.
I definitely think that having more discussions about our ability to manage big events in the future is definitely something that needs to be more on our radar. I think the pandemic has shown us how the world can be drastically impacted in a very short time. And we know from mass disasters how critical a forensic response is needed in a lot of instances. So rehashing some of our history to initiate new discussion, I think, has been the biggest takeaway for me.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, some great talks. I'm wondering, throughout this pandemic, is there something that has changed for the better for you? Like something that you're just so glad that it is now this way as opposed to as it was before?
So as a planner, type A, always, I knew what I was doing in 2023 2 years ago.
Okay.
Day by day now, and going with the flow. And I think science has been a little bit more fun that way, from an academic standpoint anyway, because I'm not just rushing to get through the experiment, or I'm not just rushing to get the project done. What are we doing today? Okay, what can we manage? We're socially distancing. What can the lab support? And in slowing down a little bit more, I think it's given a little bit more value and commitment to the projects that we're working on. So taking a more personalized approach and just living in the moment.
Yeah, that's excellent. Great answer.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, in that laboratory setting that you're in, what would your colleagues say is your superpower? What are you really good at?
I would say they would say that I get things done. So
Type A.
Well, that's the thing. So Canada is very chill. I used to be in the Bedoli lab, which is very high-paced. I worked at the OCME in New York City, very high-paced.
Yes.
I brought that hustle energy back to Canada, and they were like, whoa, we take vacations in the summer.
Yeah.
We take a break now and then. And so I think that my colleagues would say that even like in the slowest or darkest of times, I'm still producing.
That's great.
And I'm proud of that. So even though I'm living that day by day, it's what did we still do today?
Yeah.
So
that's impressive. If you could make one mandate, like you were president of the lab for one day, what would you mandate?
Ooh, more reading of journal articles.
Really?
Yeah, I think one thing that students lack or young people lack is the desire to learn. Like, I think I don't know, everybody seems in a big rush to just get to the next thing. Yep. And I think what's really interesting about science, or what's really interesting about working in forensic science, is seeing what everybody else is doing and learning about all these new cool technologies and methods and approaches to some really basic things and questions we want to answer. And so, yes, I would mandate more reading, just because I think that expanding your scope of knowledge, expanding how you think about the world, how you think about things, is going to take you further than what you're just doing in the lab.
Yeah, Yeah, I would agree with that. I never have read so many Google Scholar papers since COVID,
Right?
Because I'm very interested, and it has, real stories and real news, because it's, the studies that they're doing.
And it's keeping your brain healthy.
And it's definitely
Yeah.
keeping my brain healthy. That's why I'm so mentally sharp right now.
Right?
Yeah, right.